What's going on, guys? It is Shay here. Welcome back to another prop review. Now, this is technically a redo, or kind of like a, I guess remake this prop review, because originally I actually did do it, but I figured I was a little too quiet in that video, and I might be a little too quiet in this video. But anyways, today, everybody, I have a, let's just say, an old-time revolver, like a revolver that was made back in the 19th century, late 19th century, I should say. So today, everybody, I have for you all the Webley RIC, or Webley RIC, or what's also known as the Webley Royal Irish Constalbury. I don't know if that's how you say that word, but there's one specific reason why I made this revolver. And funny enough, my next prop is also going to be a revolver. For some reason, I'm on a revolver spree making these guns, and I was actually planning on making the first design last night. And it is a small revolver, and it uses a old cartridge called 32 Smith & Wesson, or 32 long. So yeah, everybody will know. For anybody watching it, we'll see it. So yeah, with that being said, let's begin. So the Webley RIC is a revolver that was made in the late 1800s, specifically in the late, or I wouldn't say in the late 1880s, in the late 1860s, I should say. I'm thinking about something else, but it was made, I think, in 1868, and it was actually, apparently, it was actually Webley's first double-action revolver. Although a double-action revolver is not one of those, self-extracting revolvers like some, or like, the swivel cylinder type thing. I don't know what you call them, but but it's not one of those. I think they ended up becoming, a little bit more popular sometime after this came out. But this is kind of like, well, apparently this is actually considered the original Webley Bulldog, or which is like, I think, the smaller version of this, but kind of like, one of the more smaller size frame revolvers. For anybody who knows what the gun I'm talking about, you know what I freaking mean. But yeah, this is a pretty freaking beefy, pretty well-built revolver in real life, as far as I know. There's actually a couple different variants of the Webley RIC. First off, there is the original, which looked nothing like this. Like, let's say this. The originals did not have flutes in the cylinder, basically. The only Webley RIC revolvers that have flutes in the cylinders are the Webley RIC model number 1, the new models. And also copies of these as well, like French, and I think, but not Russian models. I think it's just French, the French that copied this. I'm not necessarily sure, but yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the details, since I've already given off a little bit. And apparently this was in service for, I think, until some of the newer Webley revolvers were made. I personally like Webley revolvers. They're really cool. If I ever had to say my favorite Webley revolver would be this. My second favorite would probably be the Mark 6, which is the most popular Webley revolver. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's go take a look at the details. So as you can clearly see here, we're gonna start up with the barrel. So I wanted to make this barrel, I don't even know how long. I think this barrel is like 3 inches long. It's like a 3-inch barrel. You have front sights, and as far as I remember, the Webley RIC does not have rear sights, and if it does, it has one of those dug-in rear sight type things, like how old revolvers used to be. You have a ejector rod. I think this is the ejector rod, or either this is or this is. I have no idea. But also, this is a gate-loaded revolver, which has the gate mechanism thing, where you switch this down and you load in the rounds. This also uses 442 Webley. Meanwhile, some of the later Webley models, or some of the later Webley revolver models use, I think they use 445 Webley or 45 ACP. So yeah, yeah, so the hammer's right here, which is pretty big, and I think it's actually kind of almost this big in real life, because revolvers back in the day had the massive ass freaking hammers where you're able to put your whole thumb on it and just go and just do that. So it has one of those things. And the trigger guard, not so eventful, obviously no trigger, but pretty good at freaking spin on your fingers, if I can do it the proper way, like that, or I can do it like this. Or you could just go like, it's actually really nice to freaking spin on your finger. And also, funny enough, most Webley RIC models have a brown grip instead of a gray grip. Now, I will explain the reason why this grip is gray instead of being brown. Now, originally I was going to do it brown, but I'm like, I'm going to do it more in style of what I'm going to say, what it was like at first. So, also the flutes on the cylinders, because, I mean, this is a newer model of the revolver. Well, at the time it was. And I take it these were used by police in both, Ireland and, and United Kingdom, or England. back in those times. I really hope I'm not getting that wrong, because if so, I'm gonna sound like a complete dumbass. But yeah, that's really it for this revolver. Not many details are on this thing. It'd be funny enough. But now let's go and take a look at the reason why I made this revolver. So for anybody who watches JoJo's Bizarre Adventures in Part 1, aka Phantom Blood, Jonathan Joestar and Robert E Speedwagon used these revolvers to intimidate and also shoot Dio. Now, that was the whole reason I made this revolver. However, Jonathan never used the one that he took from the police officer. Now, it's funny because he literally took the gun from the officer. Like, he literally just took it out of his hand, just like, give me this, and then put it in a single action, aimed it at Dio, and to try to see if it could stop him, like, intimidate him, and it didn't do anything. I take it that he eventually just discarded the gun sometime after he realized, oh wow, a direct shot to the head to this dude ain't gonna freaking kill him. So I take it he just dropped it. Now, Speedwagon, I could actually really imagine him actually keeping that revolver, but he used it once. He only fired it once. He fired it or shot at Dio once, striking him in the head directly. And after one of the police officers' bodies got hit by the guy who got thrown, Speedwagon lost his revolver, or lost the revolver he used. And basically it was like he still had the revolver in his hand until that body hit him right here, maybe right here, and it freaking just made him just drop the revolver, made it do the thing. So yeah, this is also used in Peaky Blinders, from what I know. It's also used in that show as well. And I think I know it's used in a number of freaking movies, of other freaking movies and TV shows. But other than that, the reason why I made this was because of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. That's probably the reason why I want to make a lot of the guns I really want to make now. But other than that, I guess it really does it for this video. And due to the fact that this is a gate-loaded revolver, we're not gonna really be firing many shots through this thing. We're only gonna be firing the whole 6 rounds, and that's it. So I couldn't get my camera to the way I wanted it to be at first, but you know, we're just gonna freaking fire the revolver from the camera angle from right here. So Webley RIC, I'm not even gonna empty the freaking gun, because you know it's that gate loaded thing where you have to manually just turn the cylinder every single time you want to eject the shells or even load in some new ones. So 6-round revolver, 442 Webley RIC Model 1, brand new version, or new models, firing. All right, cool. So I guess I can kind of mimic the way you would do this, I guess, because I did say I wasn't going to empty the gun, but I guess we can go ahead and just like pretend we're flicking it open, and then I think you would use the thing right here to just do this, turn the cylinder and do this. So yeah, I guess it really does it for this video. Might not be the most eventful prop, but it definitely is a really cool revolver, especially, you know, this is my first 19th century revolver that I've made. I've only made 20th century and 21st century revolvers. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.